Hello everyone, welcome back to Scented Moments channel. My name is Jolima and today I'll be talking about my top 10 best fruity fragrances. I started to enjoy my fruity fragrances because in the beginning I thought of them like a very sweet, very feminine type of fragrances, but as I started to dive into the niche world, I started to realize that you have a lot of types of fruity fragrances. You have a more fresh, more aquatic or watery fruity fragrances, and you have the more sweet or even the more realistic fruit, depending of course of the fruity note that we are talking about. But overall I started to appreciate more fruity fragrances than I was before. I will not mention any designer fragrances, although I think Ultramal by Jean Paul Gaultier could be listed here in this list, but well, here's my honorable mention to Ultramal by Jean Paul Gaultier, which I have in my collection and I really do enjoy that fragrance. But again, usually in the designer realm, fruity fragrances tend to smell more feminine, overly sweet type of fragrances. That's why I'm not mentioning any designer fruity fragrances. So, starting off this list, this is a top 10 just niche, and this time I will mention in a specific order from the number 10 to the number 1. Yes, it was really hard to put this list in order because I really do love each of these fragrances that I will talk about, but well, this time I will mention from 10 to 1. And in the number 10 spot, it's from the house of Parfum de Marly, and the fragrance is Layton. This one right here. I love Layton. One of my favorite from Parfum de Marly. The fruity note here is apple. You have apple, you have vanilla, and cardamom. These three notes are the prominent notes of this fragrance. This is the, well, not the most, but definitely one of the most mass appeal fragrances from Parfum de Marly. Great performance, very mass appealing like I told you, and it's a great fragrance. Number 10 spot, Layton by Parfum de Marly. Now, in the number 9 spot, it's from the house of Acqua di Parma, and the fragrance is, it's one of my favorite fig fragrances. Fico di Amalfi. This one right here. Love Fico di Amalfi, one of my favorites from Acqua di Parma. But why is this in the number 9 spot? Although I really do enjoy this fragrance, this is a very watery fig fragrance, borderline aquatic, but I want to say it's more watery. It has also fig leaves here, it has a green touch and a fig fruit. But the performance is average, it's between the 5 to 6 hour range. It has a very natural feeling into it, but it's very watery, it's very green. But nonetheless, it's fantastic fragrance. Fico di Amalfi by Acqua di Parma. Now in the number 8 spot, it's from Andy Tower, and the fragrance is Fille une Rose de Kandahar. I already did a review of this fragrance, I will leave the link here so you can check that video out. Man, I love this fragrance. The fruit note here, it's apricot. So you have apricot, you have rose, you have tobacco, you have an ambery touch in here. It's so delicious, so well balanced, such a smooth, silky rose here. Fille une Rose de Kandahar by Andy Tower, it's fantastic. One of my favorites from Tower perfumes. Now in the number 7, it's a tie, and both are from the same house, Ramon Monegal. The two fragrances are Flamenco and Next to Me. I already did a review of Flamenco also, so I'll leave the link here as usual. So the fruit featured here in Flamenco is raspberry. This is very sweet, so you really need to have a sweet tooth to enjoy this fragrance. You have raspberry and you have rose. Very sweet, very floral fragrance, but if you care about compliments, I think you need to try this one. The performance is beastly. Flamenco by Ramon Monegal, beautiful looking bottle. Next to me, another gorgeous looking bottle was featured on my top 10 best spring fragrances. So the fruit note in next to me is peach. You have a very prominent peach note from the beginning to the mid, but this has a lot of things going on here. You have sandalwood, you have vanilla, you have oud, although I don't get much oud, you have saffron, you have rose. This is a complex fragrance, but the peach is here. It's a sweet peach fragrance, very addictive. Next to me, and Flamenco, number 7 spot. Now in the number 6, it's from the house of Sarah Baker Perfumes, and the fragrance is the one and only Jungle Jezebel. This one right here, well, she's already messed up here, the hair, but what a fragrance. I already did a review of this one also, and this is special. This is very unique. This is quite animalic, so you need to have a animalic taste in fragrances to enjoy this one. This has civet, a very prominent note of civet. But in the opening you have banana. You have a banana bubblegum type of vibe in the opening, which is quite unique in my opinion, but quickly turns into a very powerful, dirty, animalic fragrance. Quite sexy in my opinion, but it's very bold. It's very hard to wear this fragrance, but nonetheless I think it's a fantastic creation from Miguel Matre. It's wonderful. Jungle Jezebel. Now in the number 5 spots, from the house of Amouage, and the fragrance is Jubilation 25. This, in terms of scent alone, it's one of my all-time favorites. This for me is a masterpiece. The fruit note that it's in this fragrance is blackberry. You have a fantastic, juicy, mouth-watering blackberry in the opening, but this has a lot of things on it. This is very complex. You have oud, you have myrrh, you have frankincense, you have olibanum or popanax. I mean, you have so much going on in here, but this is so regal. This is one of those few fragrances that make you feel rich, powerful. This is all that in the bottle. What a fantastic creation. A masterpiece. This is a masterpiece fragrance. And like I told you in the opening, this has a very prominent note of blackberry. So Amouage, number 5 spot. Number 4 spot, it's from the house of Tom Ford, and the fragrance is Plum Japanese. This is the best plum that I ever smelled. This is a very sweet, juicy, realistic plum, very addictive fragrance with oud. So unique and so mass appealing. I get a lot of compliments with this fragrance, and the performance, it's outstanding. This is your typical bad boy type of fragrance, but it's to die for. Plum Japonais by Tom Ford. Now in the number 3 spot, it's from the house of Nishane, and the fragrance is Fan Your Flames. This is my favorite fragrance from Nishane, and the fruit note here is coconut. The best coconut ever, in my opinion. This has coconut, this has rum, this has tobacco. This fragrance is summer meets winter, in my opinion. What a fragrance. It takes you through a journey, but the coconut here, it's so realistic that it's even ridiculous. Nishane, Fan Your Flames. Fantastic coconut here. Now, number 2, it's from the house of Suspiro. Well, now it's from the house of Sergioff. All fragrances from the Suspiro line now are part of Sergioff brand. So this, I still have the bottle, the previous bottle, the older bottle of Suspiro, but take note that now they are Sergioff. But nonetheless, well, Suspiro / Sergioff. So the number 2 fragrance is Erba Pura. If you are looking for a salad fruit with milk, look no more. Erba Pura is the one for you. This is unisex in my opinion, although this, because of its sweetness, this can lean a bit more feminine, but I think this is quite unisex. Other thing is, this is not the most natural smelling fruity fragrance. This can come a bit synthetic, and because this is a beast mode fragrance, like you can choke yourself with this fragrance, that's why it can smell or can come a bit more synthetic, because it still has a metallic touch here. It's a very tame metallic vibe here, but it's still there. Nonetheless, for me it's quite delicious. I love this fragrance, but be careful with the sprayer. Erba pura, it's a fantastic, delicious, fruity fragrance. Now, my number one fragrance, I think you all know what it is. It's from the house of Sergio, and the fragrance is, of course, Cruz del Sur 2. Man, this is the most realistic mango out there, and definitely the best fruity fragrance. I recently did a review of this fragrance, so I will leave the link here. What a delicious, milky, creamy mango fragrance. Very tropical, definitely one of the best tropical fragrances out there. Cruz del Sur 2 has a fantastic performance, although this doesn't project all that much, but it creates a very nice sillage around you. People will smell you, will compliment you. This is a fantastic fragrance. Cruz del Sur 2, it's my number one, my favorite fruity fragrance. Guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Tell me in the comments down below if you like fruity fragrances, what is your favorite fruity fragrance, and see you in the next video. Take care. Ciao.